Chef Laura, first I got to say thank you so much for the interview, but more importantly, thank you for the reason why I've got this picture behind me here. My mouth is just watering now because I got to try this. For folks who don't know what this is, what's the actual name for this pizza?
This is the Americana pizza. So it's a Neapolitan style dough, which we do. It takes about 4 to 5 days to proof. A really nice, beautiful process. And then we have a little bit of tomato sauce on the bottom, San Marzano tomatoes, mozzarella, fresh mozzarella, some pepperoni, but it's a salami, mushrooms, green peppers, and all you need is a mouth and a hungry belly.
And I've got both of those. And there's a reason why I had a chance to try this. Can you explain what goes on Tuesdays at 3 of these facilities that you're in charge of?
Absolutely. So on Tuesday, we offer half-price pizzas for all of our pizzas. And you actually got to come to one of our half-price events. And any of the pizzas are available. So even the truffle pizza, which is typically $30, you can get it for $15. It's a really great thing to do if you have a family or if you're going out on a date and you want to impress. So let's get like 3 pizzas. But yeah, so we do have price on Tuesdays, and I think it's a really great promotion because it gives everybody an opportunity to try pizzas they probably wouldn't try normally on a more affordable evening.
Not just that, though, it's where you can get these pizzas that's just as important too.
Yeah, so we have 3 locations. The Cibo Wine Bar, we have one in Yorkville. We have one on King Street, just west of Spadina. And then we have, which I'm at right now, I'm at the Young Street location. It's just north of Eglinton. If you can see, such a beautiful wall of wine behind me. Yeah, so all 3, offered just at dinner. At lunch, actually, we offer what's called an infretta. It's sort of an on-the-go lunch menu. It's a 2-course for $25. So salad or a hot app. And then your choice of mains, salmon or tuna. We have salads, and we have spaghettis, and we have pastas of the day and sandwiches and stuff. So yeah, $25.
And I got a chance to be at the King Street. And yeah, when you mentioned about the wine, I mean, that's a big wine rack.
Yeah, it is. It's a huge, there's a very, very large wine selection. I mean, it's in the name of the Cibo is actually in Italian, means food. So food and wine bar. Yeah.
Well, look, for us to have such a great meal there, especially like I said, what I got behind me, there's a reason behind this, and you and your staff are behind this also. But I want to talk about your career too, because I think this is fascinating. Growing, I don't want to give too much away, but it's literally like growing up making food, traveling, rock star performances, and then rock star performances and making this. So let's go to the beginning on growing up and, loving to make food. When did this all start for you?
My family is very food oriented. We would, as a kid, we would go to either grandparents or other family relatives pretty much every weekend, either a Friday night or a Sunday afternoon. And food was like our main gathering sort of thing that we would come together with. And, on my mom's side, it was my grandmother's fettuccine with meatballs and, sugo. So it'd be all this like braised meats and meatballs, and so good. And she would hand make the fettuccine. And on my dad's side, she used to make actually incredible pizza. She called it focaccia. It's sort of a tie between focaccia meets pizza. It's a really nice and crispy, crunchy, but soft, delicious pizza. And my mom used to work, a full-time job, same with my father, but found time every single night to make dinner for us. So food was just like a big sort of family hug for me growing up. So that's what sparked my interest. It's funny though, because I wanted to actually get into acting, and I'm a drummer because I've come from a family of drummers. My uncle and my grandfather were drummers. So I just sort of hobbied with the drums, hobbied with the food, but was focusing on being an actor. And then it just all kind of went whoop. and I got into cooking as a career. Went to school, Humber College.
Okay, I gotta stop you there. There's two reasons why I gotta stop you there. One, which Humber College did you go to?
So the only one at the time they offered culinary arts was at the Rexdale, like right by Woodbine. Is that where you went?
I went there, but I'm much older than you. I went there
I don't
back in the
know.
no. I was back in the 80s. I
Oh,
graduated in
wow, you look
85.
fantastic.
Oh, well, thank
I
you.
went early 2000.
But it's funny because when I went there, of course, for radio broadcasting, but
Yeah.
I'll always see the students, the chefs walking by with their white outfits and things like that. What was it like for you there, learning your craft there?
Back then too, because I think courses have changed. They used to
Yes.
do butchery back then. Now I don't think they offer butchery. So that was really exciting to learn. They brought in like a whole animal, and then the whole class took down the animal, right? And at that
Wow.
time, yeah, it was pretty cool. And at that time, the curriculum was written by the teachers.
Yes.
So you were learning their recipes, and they were a bunch of really great Irish men that had these like really amazing recipes and stuff. So you learned obviously the 5 mother sauces, which you have to. And then they would bring in, things that they really were very passionate about. So it was an interesting time. Some things I loved. Like, it was funny. I never thought that I had a hand in pastry until I went, because you have to take pastry in school. And I got like a 95 or 7, or it was like my highest grade was like pastry. And I never realized how, I don't want to say how good I was, but I could follow a recipe properly. Right. So yeah, it was really fun. I went there very seriously. Like, I sat in the front of the class. I was always early. I was, read my recipes beforehand. Like, I wanted to do really, really well. So I took it very, very seriously. There were some people there that were there for, because I think back early 2000, that's when the Food Network really started to come out. Right. So people were there because being a chef was cool more than, what it really is. It's actually very difficult and very hard and stressful, but so incredibly fulfilling when you get through everything. So
no, I agree with you. I love the campus. I'll say that straight off the bat. I never went. I would go down to the what was this back then? It was called the I can't remember what it was called again.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
The cafeteria area where I think it was called, in my day, I think it was called the Pipes.
Maybe.
Back then, but you also, because there were so many great things that would go on over there. You had comedians that would perform in the concourse area, or bands would perform there. And of course, for me being in radio broadcasting, you could hear the radio guys on the speakers and stuff. You should go down there now. It is
totally different.
Completely different. They've added so much, and I always wanted to sneak in and see the the guys, and I can't remember the actual names of the guys take care of you when you pass away. What are they called again?
Like the funeral
undertakers or what?
Undertakers? Yeah. Okay.
Because they used to have one. I don't know if they still have it, but they had a teaching there, but they had it in a secret area, and I always wanted to sneak down and find the place. Yeah. But it sounded like you had a blast, like I did. The other question I wanted to ask you before we talk about your travels. One of the things I saw on the list was you talked about the meatballs, but you also talked about risotto. Oh, I love risotto.
Yeah, me too.
I love risotto. Do you agree or disagree with because a friend of mine who passed away about a year or two ago, and she would always make me risotto. And one of the things that we always said was there's 2 types of risotto, good and bad. There's no middle. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I do. Yeah, absolutely. I do. Because the thing was, so it's like the first thing I wanted to learn. I love rice in general. I can eat just plain steamed rice, like as it is, and I'm fine with nothing. I don't even need it to be with anything. Like, there's something about the flavor of rice in all the varieties of rice. But risotto is the one food that my mom used to make that I just was like, I was obsessed with. Yeah. So I learned, that was like the first thing I learned how to make. My mom, I was 12, so she taught me like the very safe way of doing it, because if she was at work and I was home. I had an older sister, so in the summertime when I was 12, she would take care of me. But if I was going to go and make my risotto, she taught me how to make it in the microwave, which, whoa, that would be considered bad risotto. But when I was old enough to learn stovetop, and again, you get so many different people that show you so many different ways that over my career of like, I'm 43 now, so let's say 12, from 12 to 43, I think that I've figured out the best way to make it. So you need to have my risotto.
Oh, I would love, I can't get enough of risotto.
You know,
And
I make it sometimes for staff meal here, and some of the cooks request it. I'll say if I'm cooking, because we all cook, right? We all staff meals it's for me, it's like a family coming together. You know, you're all busy, you're all working so hard that staff meal just gives everybody, even if it's 10 minutes together to just like enjoy and be happy. And when it's my turn, a lot of the times they're like, make risotto.
I'm not surprised. You know, when we one of the reasons why I even knew anything about risotto was you know, Chef Ramsay and the Kitchen Nightmares. What are your thoughts about when you see these shows like his, or what you see it on the Food Network? As you just mentioned too, these things were just starting to come up when you were learning at Humber College. What do you think about those shows now when you see them in preparation, the way some of these star chefs you know, act when they're supposed to be speaking to some of these students, if you want to call them, or people who want to get into the culinary world? What do you think about all those shows?
Well, I mean, Ramsay, I think on screen or off screen, I'm pretty sure he's the same way. Like I've never worked for him or know anyone that's really worked for him, but you hear that he's pretty much very much authentic on and off screen. There are a lot of chefs like him, not anymore as many, like, because the industry is changing, it's evolving actually, and it's becoming a more healthy environment. When I was learning growing up, there were no limits, right? You could be talked to in a way that would be considered motivational, I guess. Let's call it militant training. And so a lot of those chefs are just from that sort of cloth, you know, from that cut. So on TV, some of them it's real. Like I think it's actually real, but some of them I think it's obviously a little bit for show. I don't really watch a lot of those sort of I guess the Ramsays. I like his Kitchen Nightmares where he goes to those restaurants and it's like, oh my God. I feel him though. When you walk into a kitchen and you walk into the fridge and there's stuff that's rotting or going bad or smells, or people are serving stuff that's like not good. I see rotten. Yeah, I see that. I feel the passion. I want him to yell at them. Like, what are you doing? Why are you serving this? You know, like, how could you not take accountability for that? Right? Because the biggest thing is like, if you wouldn't eat it, why would you serve it? That's the one thing I'd say to all my cooks. Would you eat that? No? Then why are you serving it? That's like the biggest question.
But the other thing, and I did have a chance to speak to Chef Ramsay once, a phone interview several years ago. One of the things I brought up, and he did agree with this, and I can't understand the military side to it. You are feeding people, and if you do something wrong, if you're not doing things right, and the food is not prepared correctly or stored correctly, you can poison somebody, or you can really hurt somebody like that.
Absolutely. That's the thing. Like, so that's why it's very important everyday checking, because it happens. A fridge can go down, you don't even realize it. You know, a cook won't realize, oh, maybe the temperature, you check your temperatures every day, but maybe you're like, oh, this was stored incorrectly, or something can happen overnight. Today, this was beautiful. Tomorrow, it could be completely shit. You know what I mean? So you want to always check every single day, even 2 times a day. So morning to night, because it can happen. And you do take account of people come in with allergies even, right? And you have to, it's like I always tell everybody, and I act this way. It's like you're a surgeon. So if somebody says I have a nut allergy, you are going in and you're scrubbing to your elbows. You're getting all new utensils, new bowls. Or, you know, if it's a salad, you're getting your greens from like the backup. You're doing everything possible to make sure that there's no cross contamination, right? And it's same thing with just making sure your food is fresh. We are so busy right now. There's like, it would be impossible for something like that to happen. But just generally speaking, like it happens. Like there's something that got missed, or it didn't get rotated properly, or whatever. So it's always important tasting, smelling as you go. That's why chefs and cooks are constantly tasting when they're cooking. It's to see, one, is it taste good to serve it? You know, does it have enough salt? Does it have enough oil, like vinegar, whatever it is? And also, yeah, does it taste good? Right. So it's very important.
Let's talk about your travels, because you ended up going down to the US of A. What was
I
that like
did.
for you?
Well, it was an experience. It's funny. I was in a band. So drummer
Yeah,
life.
let's talk about that. Okay, because we talked about the drumming. Yeah.
They're intertwined. So I got very serious at cooking, graduated from Humber with honors, and then got into very seriously into the career for a solid 6 years. And I was going very intently, trying to get to the top. I got myself to a junior role, junior management by 2006. So all of a sudden I was in this band that was, not necessarily my hobby. It was very serious, and we took off. We got recognized pretty early on. We had a couple of renditions of the band, but once we sort of solidified a new 3-piece, all-female rock band, like within a year, we were, all female, all lesbians rock band. And so we got that sort of thing that was starting to come out there. We're a bit pop, punk, rock. And it was just it kind of catapulted us. So we got recognized from a label in New York and got a record deal, and this was our second record deal. So we moved down to New York 2009, and like I moved my whole life there. And I ended up living there for 7 years, and in that 7-year time frame, we blew up. I got to tour with lots of really amazing musicians, Canadians, Americans, like everybody. I actually got to know Cyndi Lauper really well.
Oh, cool.
We're on a personal level. Like last year, she was in Toronto, and we had dinner, and we went out on a weekend. We went for a drive. Like, she's just a fantastic human being. She really believed in our band, so she gave us a lot of, she pushed us a lot. So yeah, it was really great. So I traveled all over the world, playing drums. Like, how could you not? It was exciting. The lead singer and I were big time foodies. So anytime we'd go to a certain place, we'd say, what are they known for? On our band rider, it would say if meals were provided. Usually it's like snacks and things like that. But the higher up you get, the more you get, right? So when we got to that level where you could eat hot meals, we would always say, especially in Europe, and Europe's amazing. They take care of their artists. Like, they'll feed you every day. We'd ask what's popular in your town. So we got to try some really rad stuff, different foods. Yeah, it was cool.
But the thing is, though, you're here.
Yeah.
Where did that transition start?
Well, I started to get, the touring is it's a lot. So, 12 years total, I was with the band, and touring probably 10 of those years. So after so long, it takes a lot out of you. Living out of you're never really in one place longer than a few months. You're on the road all the time. Even when you're doing records, you would, let's say LA or wherever, Toronto, we used to do a lot of records out here. You're just like, you like that life for a while, but I really wanted to, settle down and get back into cooking. I was missing cooking. I was really finding like I was more passionate about, the Chopped network, Chopped show that was on.
Yeah.
And I just sort of lost focus. So I moved back to Toronto. We put the band on, I guess it's a long time hiatus. We're looking at 7 years now, but I moved back to Toronto, and I just really dug my feet in and got back into the cooking career and just went hard. I came in as a sous for OMB, and I worked in their company for, I guess, from 2016 to last year, and just climbed the ladder there, became a chef, opened a restaurant there, was transferred to another, and then just in all of that, this Cibo opportunity opened up. late 2022, and it just sounded like a really an amazing opportunity, and it is. Overseeing more than one location, which is like exciting because you get to kind of like be in more than one place at the same time in a way. Lots of different people that you get to know and meet, such as yourself. And it's Italian and I'm Italian. So getting to be sort of in the root of where I'm from and experiencing, getting to do this food on an everyday basis is just kind of great.
So let's get back to the pizzas now. How many different pizzas are there? How did you come up with the menu?
So to be completely transparent, the menu is a staple menu. And when I came in the beginning of this year, January 2023, I made a couple of changes. I adjusted a few things on the menu and I added maybe 4 or 5 pizzas, I think it is. So for the pizzas that we have on there, I don't know off the top of my head, but we have at least 15 plus pizzas.
Okay, well, let's talk about the ones that I experienced. Like you talked about this one.
Yeah.
And when I came in on that day on Tuesday, I think there was like 5 specialties that you had that night. I could be wrong. What were those?
So the truffle pizza, which is really, we're very lucky because we get on a weekly delivery, we have truffles coming from Abruzzo and we get to change with the season. So beginning of the year, we were having summer truffles. But now we're getting into winter and we're getting the more fragrant black truffles. So that pizza is interesting because it gets to change with the season, but it's exactly the same pizza. It has Parmesan cheese. It does have fresh mozzarella, ground sausage, which is spicy. This is my personal favorite pizza. It's the one that I would want to eat. It's actually one of my pizzas. And then finished with fresh arugula and then black truffles. And it's really, really good because it's got that, if you have to love truffles though. And then we have a mortadella pizza. That's sort of like my pay tribute to my dad's side of the family because they love mortadella. My father, if you go to their house, my parents' house, without a doubt, there will be mortadella in the fridge. So it has caramelized onions, smoked provolone cheese, and then thinly shaved mortadella and then pistachios. It's also a delicious pizza that you must try. The pizza you have behind you is the Americana. So it's, what you would probably expect to get an American style pizza. Then we have the margarita, which is your classic. I did actually learn that there's the story about the Queen Margarita and that the pizza was made after her. Or Princess Margarita. It's a lie, just so you know. It's not a true story. It's just one of those stories that, it was like somebody made, the princess the pizza, and it was because a representative of the flag of Italy, green, white, and red, and then she was her favorite pizza, and so it became this. So it's actually just a blown up story that traveled hard. Yeah, it's hard.
Let's jump into some stories before we wrap this up, because you've probably heard that people say there are certain things that should never be put on a pizza. What do you consider a no to be put on the pizza? The old argument, the first big argument has always been pineapple.
My wife loves pineapple, so I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of pineapple on pizza, but I will eat it if the pork on the pizza is outstanding. I'm not a fan of, like if it's really nice bacon, like this, side bacon or double smoked bacon and then pineapple, I think is actually quite good, but not something I normally order. I think that, and there's going to be an uproar. I think anything can go on pizza, to be honest.
Wait, even cucumber? Because I don't think cucumber should be on pizza.
No, I think within reason, anything within reason, because it's a bread, right? So if you can put, anything in a sandwich, I feel like you pretty much within reason, if it makes sense, you can put on pizza as well.
Wow. Well, we got it from the chef, so that's all that matters. And I love that. And I love the fact that we have 15 different pizzas that we can try. I loved not just the atmosphere, but the food. Watching the folks doing this, because it's the ovens are, is it stone ovens? I took pictures of it.
Yeah, they are.
See,
Yeah.
that's the kind of thing I love seeing. You know,
Yeah.
it's like
And they
that makes
burn
it to me
at-
authentic.
They burn at around 600 degrees.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it comes out, like I said, it's just juicy. It's good, great flavor. And as you said, Tuesdays, oh man, cutting the price on that, you can't go
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way you do it. Look, as we wrap this up, any surprises that we should be looking out for in, say, 2024, maybe?
Definitely Winterlicious at the Yonge Street location. We'll be participating in dinner only. And so you'll see a couple of my dishes on there. So you should definitely check that out. And then future new brunch, new desserts coming out. So all in 2024, we're going to be hitting up some new stuff. You know, maybe give a little revamp in the menu, way more specials. The Infreda runs all the time during lunch at all the locations that offer lunch. And New Year's, we're going to be doing at each location, they'll be doing their own special, you know, a couple of items, an app, a main, a dessert. So, and each chef's going to be inspired. So they'll get to do a little version of what they want. So come check that out.
Amazing. And is there ever a chance we're going to see you drumming again in public?
Drumming and eating pizza.
There you go. I can go with that.
Happen.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you again so much for this interview. Thank you so much for the hospitality. Thank you for the great food. And thank you, knowing the fact that in the way this economy is, it's tough for a lot of people to want to go out, to help create a day where people can go out, have a good time, enjoy themselves, and not have to spend so much, I think is amazing. Thank you again for all of this.
Of course, no problem. Thank you.